Most people think Mongolia is just empty land, endless grass, cold winds, and horses running across nothing. But what if I told you that this empty land once controlled more of the world than any empire in human history? Not Rome, not Britain, not America, Mongolia. And the most shocking part is not how powerful the Mongols were. It's how close they came to changing the entire future of the world. To understand this, we have to go back to a time when Mongolia wasn't powerful at all. In the late 1100s, the Mongolian steppe was a brutal place to be born. Life expectancy was low. Tribes were constantly killing each other. Betrayal was normal. Slavery was common. Survival meant violence. A young boy named Temujin was born into this chaos. His father was poisoned by a rival tribe. His family was abandoned by their own people. His mother was left to raise her children alone in the wilderness. They survived by eating roots, rodents, and whatever they could catch. At one point, Temujin's own brother stole food from him. So Temujin killed him, not out of hatred, but because weakness meant death. This boy would later become Genghis Khan, but here's something most history books don't tell you. Genghis Khan didn't rise to power because he was the strongest warrior. He rose because he destroyed the old system. In Mongol society, leadership was based on bloodline. Nobles ruled, commoners obeyed. Genghis Khan changed that. He promoted people based on loyalty and skill, not family name. A shepherd could become a general. A former enemy could become a brother. This single idea made the Mongol army unstoppable. By the early 1200s, Mongol forces began expanding faster than the world had ever seen. They didn't just conquer lands. They rewrote the rules of war. They used psychological warfare. They spread fear before battles even began. Sometimes they wiped out cities completely, not out of cruelty, but strategy. If a city resisted, it was destroyed. If a city surrendered, it was spared. News traveled fast. Many cities surrendered without a single fight. Here's an untold truth that surprises many people. The Mongols were not just destroyers. They were one of the most tolerant empires in history. They allowed freedom of religion. Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and Jews lived under Mongol rule. They protected merchants and trade routes. The famous Silk Road became safer under Mongol control than it had ever been before. This led to something historians call the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. Goods, ideas, technology, and even medicine traveled from China to Europe. Gunpowder, paper money, navigation tools. The modern world quietly borrowed from Mongol rule. But power came with a cost. After Genghis Khan's death, his empire was divided among his sons and grandsons. And this is where one of the most dramatic moments in world history happened. In 1241, Mongol armies reached Europe. They crushed Polish and Hungarian forces. They were marching toward Germany, France, possibly even Rome. Europe was defenseless. Then suddenly, the Mongols stopped. They turned back. Why? Because the great Khan had died. And Mongol leaders had to return home to choose a new ruler. One death may have saved Europe. If that message had arrived a few months later, the world map today might look very different. But the Mongol legacy didn't disappear. Even today, Mongolia carries deep scars and deep pride. During the 20th century, Mongolia was trapped between two giants, Russia and China. Its culture was suppressed. Its religion attacked. Its history rewritten. Yet Mongolia survived. Today, it remains one of the last places on Earth where nomadic life still exists. Families still move with seasons. Children still learn to ride horses before they can read. The land still shapes the people. And here's something few outsiders know. Mongolians don't see Genghis Khan as a conqueror. They see him as the man who gave them identity. To this day, his face appears on money. Airports are named after him. Children learn his laws in school. Because to Mongolia, he wasn't just a warrior. He was the man who turned a broken land into the center of the world. Mongolia's history is not just about conquest. It's about survival, adaptation, and the reminder that even the most forgotten places can shape human destiny. The world once feared Mongolia. Then it forgot it. But history has a strange way of returning, and Mongolia has never truly disappeared. But here's the part of Mongolian history that almost no one talks about. The Mongol Empire didn't fall because it became weak. It fell because it became too advanced for its time. After the conquest slowed, the Mongols tried to rule the world they had taken. And ruling is harder than conquering. The empire was divided into powerful khanates: China, Central Asia, the Middle East, Russia. Each region had different cultures, laws, religions, and ambitions. And slowly, unity began to crack. One of the most misunderstood Mongol rulers was Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan. In China, he founded the Yuan dynasty. Most people think the Mongols destroyed Chinese civilization. In reality, Kublai Khan tried to become Chinese. He rebuilt cities, supported scholars, expanded trade, created one of the earliest forms of paper currency used across an empire. But this created resentment. To Mongols, he was becoming too soft. To Chinese elites, he was still a foreign ruler. He belonged to both worlds, and neither. Meanwhile, something deadly traveled along the same trade routes that made the empire rich: the Black Death. Because Mongol lands connected east and west, disease spread faster than ever before. Entire cities collapsed. Trade slowed. Trust vanished. Fear replaced order, and the Mongols were blamed. But here's a fact most people never hear. The Mongols didn't collapse because of plague or rebellion alone. They collapsed because their own laws were too fair. Genghis Khan created a legal code called the Yasa. It punished corruption harshly, protected women more than most medieval societies, made theft a serious crime. But as generations passed, rulers broke these laws. Once the law stopped being equal, loyalty disappeared. The empire fractured from the inside. Yet even after losing power, the Mongols didn't disappear. They changed the DNA of entire nations. In Russia, Mongol rules shaped centralized government. In the Middle East, they altered warfare forever. In Europe, they introduced diplomacy, passports, and international trade ideas. Even modern globalization has roots in Mongol systems. Now here's a story almost erased from history. There was a Mongol general named Subutai. He was not born noble. He couldn't even read. Yet he became one of the greatest military strategists who ever lived. He led campaigns thousands of kilometers apart at the same time, without modern communication. He studied enemy psychology, used fake retreats, turned geography into a weapon. Modern military academies still study his strategies, but his name is rarely taught, because history often remembers kings, not the minds behind them. As centuries passed, Mongolia returned to isolation. Empires rose and fell around it. China ruled. Russia influenced. Borders closed. The world moved on. But something powerful remained. Mongolia never lost its soul. Even under foreign pressure, nomadic identity survived. The bond between human and horse. The respect for land and sky. The belief that freedom is worth more than comfort. In Mongolian culture, there is a saying: a man without freedom is already dead. This belief shaped everything, from war to daily life. Today, Mongolia stands quietly between two global powers. Not loud, not aggressive, but watching. Its land still holds secrets. Burial sites of Khans that were never found. Lost cities buried under grass. Histories never written down, only remembered in songs. The Mongols once ruled the world without walls. And maybe that's the lesson history missed. They didn't believe in borders. They believed in movement, adaptation, strength through unity, not chains. Mongolia's untold history isn't just about domination. It's a warning. That power without unity collapses. That freedom can build empires and also dismantle them. That the quietest places on Earth can carry the loudest pasts. The world may never see another Mongol Empire, but the world still lives in the shadow of one, and that shadow is larger than most people realize.